If what you want in your videos is for viewers to not even suspect you're using green screen, consider borrowing this trick from the movies. It might even be easier than what you're doing now. Back in the 40s and 50s, Hollywood used rear projection to create a background plate for scenes where they wanted more control in an uncontrollable situation, like driving or flying, where the technology wasn't quite up to the task. Today, they've gotten much better at making it invisible, and now there's green screen. What George Lucas used to birth Star Wars, and J.J. Abrams to kill Star Trek. Okay, that might be a matter of opinion. The point is, if you want to tell your story while simply standing in front of a green screen, instead of a still shot, consider shooting your own video background plate, and with at least the same resolution you'll use to film yourself later. For example, in North by Northwest, they shot the crop duster airplane in 70mm and Cary Grant in 35mm so that the airplane shot would stand up in editing. But anyone can do something like that. I went out to the airport and shot a 5-minute clip in 4K of what it would look like standing in front of my airplane. In the background, you can see the cars going by, so the shot has a bit of life, just enough to stay in the background, but save me tons of production time. So where would you shoot this kind of video? Well, where do you enjoy spending time? If you like being in nature, standing in front of a tree in a meadow might work. You can reuse the shot for many other videos. You only have to get it once per season to be able to use it year-round. You can shoot in local parks or beaches, depending on time of day. So why not just pull a shot from a stock footage library? I've done that for shorter videos that also have lots of other cuts in between. Those stock shots are usually about 15 seconds long, which is not enough time to really develop a thought. They're also hard to find. They are rarely shot at eye level, and even if they are, they're either moving shots or a bird's eye view or too close up. So you might as well shoot your own. And it's so easy. There are just 3 things to keep in mind about the shoot. The first is perspective. Make it your eye level and make sure that where you cut yourself off in the frame is the same place you'll cut yourself off in the studio. And pro tip, if you shoot the background in 4K, you can easily change the size of the shot. In other words, get the long shot and you already have your close-up. Another advantage to shooting in 4K is that if you create a version of the video that isn't 16 by 9, but maybe 9 by 16, like for social media, you can move the shot around until you like the effect you get at that new aspect ratio. That's one of the many advantages to shooting a simple stand-up, a shot of yourself against green screen. You can move yourself around too, and then end up with a nicely composed shot, no matter what aspect ratio you started in. The second thing to pay attention to is lighting. Keep the sun at your back or wherever you decide your key light will be coming from. That way, the shadows will be the same in your composite shot as they are in your live shot when you go ahead and put them together. Third, and finally, the movement within the frame itself should not be so constant and frenetic and interesting that your viewer spends most of their time exploring the background. Likewise, movement of the camera itself. Don't shoot it handheld. Lock it down. If the spot is moving and you aren't, well, it just looks weird. I love the moving background. Choosing the right still background can be very challenging. You have to make sure you don't see any trees or people or bodies of water or clouds or traffic or birds or anything else that even hints of movement. But a moving background? Well, all that stuff adds to the effect. And I think makes it easier to produce a decent green screen effect in the first place. Your viewer is much less likely to focus on that one little spot that doesn't look quite right. They're more likely to just enjoy it and focus on your message. Still, it helps to get the basics on shooting green screen in a small room. It's different than the studio version where you have the space to add a dozen lighting instruments. This free course will give you pretty much everything you need right out of the gate, from setting up your room, your equipment, the lighting ratios, exposure settings, and a bunch of other stuff that will make your green screen videos look very convincing. And it's fun. It's the kind of fun you should be having on your way to visible authority.